Hey, this is Joe again. Today we're gonna do a flat tire. I got a 2016 Ram 1500. It is the 3.6 Pentastar, if that matters at all. You can hear this sucker hissing. I don't know if you can hear it, but either way, I know it's gonna go flat. Luckily, I got to a safe spot before it went flat on me. So first of all, passenger side. This little panel down here. Pop that sucker out towards you and then pull towards the front of the vehicle. Got a jack and you know, all the accessories and stuff. Usually that will be screwed through there, but mine has got a little bit of rust or whatever. I don't know if it got cross-threaded at some point, but it's a pile of junk, so I don't thread it in there anymore. And of course, somebody has to have their loud fucking motorcycle in the goddamn... Yes, you're so cool, dude. Fuck me. Okay. Throw that jack underneath there for now. Now let's unpackage this thing. Here's all the things you will need. Alright, first of all, grab this sucker and break those loose while it's still on the ground. Because once it's up in the air, it's kind of a bitch, and then you run the risk of flopping it off the jack. Alright, I'm going to do that quick. Okay, next, we're going to put these together. See, we're not going to need that quite yet. These are going to go end to end, small end in, big end. Actually, I'm going to keep this one last because that's the one we got to... You'll notice one doesn't have the little, that little ball clip thing there. You're going to want to have that on the end, because you're going to need to grab it with that. Okay, from there, connect these end to end, and then I'll show you what we're going to do with it. Okay, it should look something like this. There's going to be 3 pieces connected together, just like so. We're going to have one big end going into the truck. I'll show you where this goes. Look right here real close, you'll see that arrow right next to your license plate. It even, if you just follow the direction of that arrow and push her in real slow like, you'll feel it touch something, twist it around a little bit. What that's doing is grabbing onto the little mechanism in there that will lower the tire. So now we've got a small end out here, the one without the clip. That little square there is going to go onto that little square there. Maybe. Just like so. Now, well, I can't really do it with one hand. We're going to spin that motherfucker until the tire flops down on the ground. Make sure and give yourself a whole bunch of extra slack so you can get that damn tire out of there. Now we've got it on the ground, slide it back towards us a little bit, and you'll see kind of how it's hooked on there, that deal. So this is where you need the slack, so you can lift up the tire and turn that deal sideways and slide it through the hole. Alright, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do this with one hand. See, just holding it up, turn that deal sideways and pull it out. Now we've got a spare tire. All right, now go ahead and turn this thing back clockwise and tighten that thing up. All right. All right, make sure and get that pretty snug. You don't want that flopping around when you're out driving. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pull this out. Keep this stuff connected just like it is. We're gonna need it again. Next step, let's get this jack in place. Oops, sorry. All right. I know people talk shit about scissor jacks, but this thing's pretty badass. Usually you can pull it up kind of just with your fingers. I know I'm doing this with one hand, so I usually get it started with my fingers just because it's a little quicker. All right, now take note of this little gap here. That's what we're going to be aiming for underneath the truck. All right, this is what I do. I don't know, someone probably give me shit about it, but this little point here, that's what I'm aiming for with that gap. Of course, I'm on grass, so this is going to be a little sketchy, but if I had any boards or anything, I'd probably put it under the jack, but I just don't have access to any of that right now, so. All right. Now that one piece we had left with the hook, we're gonna put that hook right in that hole. Bam. The three pieces we already have hooked together, we're gonna go ahead and slide those onto that hook. Well, I'm going to use two hands to do that, just like so. So now we have four pieces put together. All right, and a reminder, break those lugs loose first before you do this. Once again, we're going to put that square on that square. We'll turn it clockwise and jack this sucker up. Should look something like this. I know the sun is glaring in my eyes, so I can't really tell if this is on camera or not. But it should look something like this, and we're turning like that. Once that tire is up off the ground, we'll finish taking the lugs off. Okay, now I'm a couple inches off the ground. The tire was starting to go flat, so I wanted to give me a little more clearance. Now we're gonna go ahead and grab this guy again, come over here, and spin these motherfuckers off. Do this with all. All right, once you have those off, set them to the side, out of your way. Set everything off to the side. Give that thing a good thumping. Now you know it's loose. Go ahead and pull it off of there. Set it to the side, out of the damn way. Grab the spare. The deep dish part goes to the inside of the truck. Alright, I'll definitely need two hands for this, but what I generally do is take note of the top stud, line it up with one of the holes, and get it hung up there on that one stud, and then turn it one way or the other to line up the rest. I guess I can kind of show you with one hand. See, I've got that top stud hooked on. Now I'm just going to turn it so everything else lines up. Push her on. Alright, it should hang there pretty easy. Now, get all the lugs back on. Alright, as you're getting these tightened down, take note of this beveled edge. You want it to seat inside that hole real well. So you can tell I got this one right up next to it, so I'm going to wiggle the tire around just so I know it goes in that hole just real nice. There we go. All right, do that with all of them, and then we'll start putting a wrench on it. All right, I've got them all in there snug, as tight as I can get them with just my fingers. Before I lower it, I usually we'll torque it down just a little bit with this wrench. Now, don't be going and putting your ass into it right now. Just get them pretty good and snug. All right? Pick a lug to start with. Get her good and snug. Now, either pick a direction, one way or another. Just go 2 lugs away. You want to go in a star pattern so that this thing goes in there nice and flat and even, and you don't warp anything. Now I usually go around twice. Well, I'll go around as many times as it takes until I feel like none of them are loose. You know what I mean? Again, you're not putting everything you have into it. Just making sure everything is snug. Everything's pretty tight now. We're gonna go ahead and let this thing down. Same as before. Put that square on that square, and now we're going to go counterclockwise and bring it down. Now that it is on the ground, go ahead and put your ass into it this time. Same deal, go in a star pattern. Generally, since most people don't just roll with a torque wrench, I just get it really fucking tight, you know? Probably as tight as you can get it. We're getting tight now. After you're back on the road, I'd say within 10-20 miles, I don't know, whatever your next stop is, go ahead and do that again. Because once you're on the road, this thing's going to vibrate and whatever and work out any kind of looseness there might be in there. So put your wrench on it again after you've driven it a little bit. Hey, don't forget your tire on the side of the road either. Make sure your jack is good and seated all the way down. Get everything back in its little package. I use this so much I don't wrap it up anymore, but all this Velcro, just wrap it around, it wraps onto itself, keeps it nice and tight. Alright, you'll notice on the bottom of the jack, there's a little slot here. That slot is going on that little bolt right there. Just line it up best you can. And slide it on. That'll keep it from bouncing around and shit while you're driving. Now, again, this is where you would unscrew that and put it back through that hole and get it good and tight, but mine don't work worth a shit, so this is how I roll. Mine actually doesn't bounce around or anything, doesn't make any noise. Put that in next to her. Put your cover back on. Just doing the opposite. Alright, just doing the opposite of what we did last time. So, get this back piece in here, and you can feel it catch and pull in. Then push that, good to go. If you look in your owner's manual, it will give you jack points for whatever truck you have. Pretty sure I just made up my own, but it's always worked for me, so whatever. Also, if you're doing it yourself, have a look at the torque rating. I have a torque wrench in a different garage, so I'll be torquing mine. I have a coned. I'll be at 130 foot-pounds. Alright, there we go. There's a changing a flat on a 2016 Ram. It's kind of pretty, isn't it? I should spray paint that thing silver or something. I've used the shit out of it. Either way, I've got some videos coming up just in the editing process and whatever. We'll be doing some fluid changes, and we'll be doing a output shaft seal as well. So stay tuned for that. Give some comments if I missed any steps. This was kind of in a hurry. I was not planning on doing this today. But you guys have a good day. Peace.